Good afternoon, everyone. Yeah, very excited to be here in Ely. Erica and myself are both located in St. Paul at the Minnesota Pollution Control Office. And Nik is more regional, and we'll hear from Nik a little bit later as well. So yeah, we were invited to talk a little bit about the GreenStep Cities program and how Ely has been involved. So like we heard, we will be at City Council meeting this evening to award the Step 3 award to the city and for their participation. So I wanted to just kind of give a little bit of overview of the program and a little bit about Ely's involvement as well. So I wanted to start off with some definitions. So green is in our name. So as you can guess, we're a little bit around the environment, eco, resilient, sustainable. So there's a lot of words out there that play into this conversation, and some of these you might be familiar with. So I wanted to just maybe start a little bit. I get my definitions. With some of those definitions, there's a lot of overlap in these definitions. Sometimes you'll hear these words used interchangeably as well. Okay, so sustainability, that tends to be the word that we use associated with the GreenStep Cities program. Sustainability for us and our definition is the ability to really adapt, mitigate, and promote economic, social, and environmental change. And so really all three of those pillars. Green, environmentally friendly is really what that's looking at. So very environmental focused. Resilient, maybe it's the ability to withstand, recover from, or adapt to man-made and natural disasters. So really looking at more of those impacts from our weather events and climate. Eco-friendly, self-sustaining, ecologically healthy, climate smart, focused on achieving sustainable growth while mitigating and adapting to climate change impacts specifically. So as I'm saying these words and these definitions, you can hear all of that overlap happening, and a lot of that is used interchangeably. And like I mentioned, we really kind of fall within this sustainability topic area. And for us, that includes society, environment, and economy. You can kind of think of it as a three-legged stool. If you lose one of those legs, it falls over. And so it really does, for us, encompass this idea that all aspects really lead to sustainability, and for us, sustainable communities. That inner section there of the three ideas is that kind of idea of sustainability. That's what we're aiming for. Okay, how do we feel about using phones today for some interaction? Yes, no, yes? We have one thumbs up. Okay, I see some phones being used. Okay. We can also raise hands and participate in that way too, but I will give you a second if you want to join the conversation via your phone. You can use that QR code or just type in www.minty.com and enter in this code. It will prompt you for that. I'll give folks a second here. Okay, I still see some phones. This is good. Okay. Okay, I think I can go to the next one. And if you missed it, that code number is up at the top again too. So I wanted to kind of start this conversation in talking about Ely. That's where we're physically located right now. I think that most of you are in maybe the city, or at least you're here today. So, and that is really, you know, what we're here to celebrate this evening too, is their participation in the program. So what sustainability initiative might you know of that makes you proud of in association to Ely? So what is something that is happening in Ely, something that either the city has done or a business or organization? Oh, yeah. Yes, go to the website. We'll get there so you can type. Thank you. In the meantime, we can ask this question. So if you aren't participating on your phone, does anyone have anything they'd like to share verbally? Yes, and I need to bring a mic, right?
I think our tree board.
Okay.
Carol celebrating the tree board, thank you. Any other thoughts? Tom?
I like that we have the plug-in available at the library for any automobile.
And there's one by the dairy thing too. So that wasn't the city initiative, but
Recycling, the availability of drop-off.
we got trees. We got recycling. We got electric vehicle charging. We got solar panels on the library and on the new trail center.
More efficient street lighting and dark sky design as the city converts.
That conversion process is happening now. Yeah.
Thanks.
Oh, Mr. Sherman.
Speaking of the trail center, we have the Wasabi bike trail that almost goes all the way to Grand Rapids now. I just think one main little section. And then the North Country Trail that's talking about coming through the area too.
Who needs cars?
Okay, the phone thing is not working and I'm flustered, so sorry. Thank you for trying to use your phone. But that means we can keep passing the mic.
I have an addition. The establishment of the Green Team in the Ely City Council Subcommittee, which has been, I think, really critical. It's an outgrowth of our Ely Climate Change Group, which has been in operation for several years now under the able leadership of Barbara Jones. And I think that was a big accomplishment because as a member, I have to say, we are very interested in moving forward on the steps of next step 4 of the GreenStep program. Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, and that's just something to be proud of in general, is that Ely has such an active and vibrant group, such as the Ely Climate Group.
It is. That's a big deal that we don't see in every community that's participating in this program. All right.
Sorry, I went rogue.
One more, anyone who maybe had a really good idea they wanted to put on their phone, but I'm taking that option away.
The boundary wires.
Yeah, we're proud of them.
Okay, hey, I love that. Yeah, saving them, protecting them. Yes, awesome. Those are really great examples. You guys get it. You know, there are things happening every day in the city, and that's something to celebrate. And that's kind of a role that we try to play with this GreenStep Cities program. Oh, I lost my clicker again. So I just click on it. There we go. Okay. So let's talk a little bit specifically about the city government's role in doing these things and how they are stepping up to introduce some new green initiatives. So one way is participating in the GreenStep Cities program. We have 155 communities across the state of Minnesota, cities and tribal nations that participate in this program. We also have a sister program for K through 12 schools and school districts. Communities are really everywhere who are working on sustainability initiatives, showing an interest in and an understanding the importance of working on sustainability in city government. Again, that environment, social, economic aspects and initiatives that governments can participate in. And our role as a program is to challenge communities with their sustainability efforts, assist them in resources and tools to help them take those efforts, as well as recognizing them, which tends to be a really fun part of our jobs in being able to highlight all of these great examples that are happening every day in communities across Minnesota, as well as creating a resource for communities to learn from each other. So trying to create some efficiencies in that as well. So GreenStep is a voluntary program. Cities join by signing a council resolution. There's certainly no requirement. We don't have all cities across the state participating. It's a voluntary choice to participate. It's free to participants. We want to keep that, the barrier to participate as low as possible. It's flexible, it's non-regulatory. It's really based around best practices. So thinking about those actions that are above and beyond. So not the expectations or requirements that city governments might be involved with, but what are those extra things that they could do. We support communities with a community of practice. And so bringing communities together to learn from each other, again, kind of finding opportunities to maybe duplicate efforts, do a little stealing, totally encouraged, because that's efficient. That is reducing staff time. That's reducing, trial and error. It's maybe bringing in some specific opportunities that they didn't know what might be possible. All right. And then I do want to mention, so I'm doing most of the talking today, but Erica Bjelland is here with us as well. And so she and I are both in our St. Paul office. We both work for the Minnesota Pollution Control Agency, which is one of the partners of this program. We call the GreenStep program a partnership. So we have a few state agencies that are involved. Eric and I just happen to get paid by the Pollution Control Agency, but they are, of course, very environmentally focused in this work and provide a lot of resources and tools for cities. But we also have nonprofit and other partners that participate and make up the steering committee for the program. And so we're really fortunate to have all of these great partnerships, including clean energy resource teams or CERTs. And I'll let Nik talk a little bit more about their specific role here a little bit later as well. Okay, so again, what is GreenStep? What does that look like? Really, it's a continuous improvement program. It's a framework for cities to look at how to set goals and implement those goals. What are the actions that you need to reach the goals that cities are, thinking about and setting for themselves every day? So we help provide implementation tools and resources to do that. We ask that cities participate by implementing and reporting actions to us. So we are creating a database essentially of self-reported actions from cities, including Ely, to get a little better understanding of what it is that they're doing that's achieving these best practices within sustainability. And that becomes a great documenting tool for other staff or community leaders, residents. Maybe it's a business who's looking to relocate and they want to know what their city is doing to work on sustainability. Or if there's staff turnover, you have that kind of database to really reflect on and know where you've been across this journey over time, as well as a resource for peer communities. So if another community is really interested in, hey, what's Ely doing up there? You can kind of take a look and peek and see all of the different actions that they've reported, which is really exciting. So that's kind of the bulk of the GreenStep program. And then looking at metrics and outcomes. What do all of those actions having an effect on or an impact on in the community over time, and trying to build that in, which creates that kind of cycle of continuous improvement. In the middle of all of this, you have each community has a coordinator, often a staff person, but sometimes a community leader or volunteer that's kind of at the central to organizing their participation. And then you have community champions. So it's probably many of you in this room, people who are really connected to this work, want to see, outcomes and change and impact, and maybe have some resources themselves. Maybe it's some time, maybe it's participating on a committee and those kinds of things. And then of course, us GreenStep staff and partners really helping to support all of this work along the way. So why are we focusing on cities as a program, and tribal nations to an extent as well? Cities are really central to a lot of city government, I should say, are really central to a lot of opportunities for local change, right? Like they are the decision makers in so many ways that impact our lives as residents or as businesses within a community. Again, setting those goals, creating plans, thinking about long-term improvement, budgets and continuous improvement processes. They're involved with public engagement and enforcement of laws and codes, as well as land use and zoning. And really, they have a lot of opportunity in educating the community in large, as well as an opportunity to take action really quickly. I work for state government. Action doesn't always happen very quickly at that level, even though we, sometimes think that it should. Local governments have a lot of ability to take action quickly when it's needed. But also, with that public engagement and those opportunities to really make decisions as a community. And so that's where we really see a lot of ability for communities to work across these sustainability efforts. And so we love cities. Okay, let's talk a little bit about Ely specifically. So Ely joined the GreenStep Cities program in January of 2014. And they are currently a step 3, which we will officially present at council this evening. They have completed 12 of the best practices out of 29, as well as 32 best practice actions specifically. And I know you can't click on those links, but just know that there's a lot of information on our website about the actions that Ely has reported. And so you can go on there and see those self-reported actions. When did they do it? What did they do? A little bit of information about maybe some additional links to websites to learn more and that kind of thing. The graph on the left is the distribution of where Ely has reported actions in our program. So we have 5 different categories. You can kind of break down a lot in environmental management and land use, but also transportation, resilient economic and community development, and also buildings and lighting. So a little bit from across all of those different categories, or a lot of it, however you want to look at it. These are the steps. So what does step 3 mean? That's where Ely's at. Right in the middle, good place to be. We have 5 steps in the program overall. The first is the council signs a resolution. So we did that back in 2014. And then steps 2 and 3 focus on implementing and reporting those best practice actions. And so we're really about taking action, highlighting what's been done in the city, and thinking about additional actions to take. And we've got a few different program requirements and milestones that are involved in reaching up to those additional steps. And then steps 4 and 5 shift to look at metrics and outcomes. And so that's maybe where we're headed next in Ely in terms of participation in this program. So these are the 29 best practices that we have in the program. You'll see those 5 categories that was in that graph. Altogether, there's over 180 specific actions. So we really consider this a menu. It's not a checklist. We don't think that any city will go through and take all of those actions. That's a lot. Really what we're trying to provide is a resource for cities to identify particular areas where they might need to put some extra effort into. And so we know that no 2 cities are the same, and everyone's got different needs and priorities and resources to take care of and people to take care of. So really, we're just trying to provide a place to kind of brainstorm as well as report those ideas. So we really cover across the board. And when you start digging into these best practices, this is where you'll see more and more resources. We have different examples of kind of level of leadership. So again, all of this is above and beyond effort for city government to participate in. But we want to continue challenging folks by pushing or identifying those kind of 3-star level actions as well. And each one's got a best practice advisor, so somebody who can actually help with some of those questions and the specifics for participating, as well as additional resources. So tools, websites, guidance documents, calculators, you name it. If there's something on here, especially if it's specific to Minnesota, we want to provide local examples, local resources as much as we can. And then my favorite part is who's doing it. So this is actually an example. I should have put one from Ely, but this is Royalton, who reported in 2019 that they took an action, and there's a file and a link, and here's who you can contact to learn more. And so we don't ask for a ton of detail, but just enough to pique interest, or just enough to show how they've participated. And so we try to keep the barrier pretty low for cities to participate. But they can also, I don't think there's a word limit. So if you want to put a bunch of stuff, that's great too. I pulled out a few of the notable actions that Ely has reported into the program. So again, just a few of them. Many things are super exciting, but a couple examples here. We have zoning code, which encourages space above businesses to be used as residential and office space. I see that in downtown. Energy retrofit grants for businesses. Incredible Ely and Ely Health and Wellness work to develop walking and biking route maps and signs. City renewable purchases include hydropower through Lake County Power. Student internship programs that educate youth about city government. Again, a wide variety of different actions and just examples. A few examples, I should say. And then you'll see kind of that star breakdown of different ratings in those actions as well. Okay, next question. No phone needed. So now you know a little bit about the program and our categories. Any ideas out there you want to share about where Ely should prioritize their next sustainability actions? What do we want to see?
Resilient economies.
Resilient economies. I like that. You okay with shouting back there?
Yeah.
brownfield solar.
Okay, landfill to brownfield solar site. Yes, love seeing examples like that.
I'm excited to get some new lighting in my street when that comes to my neighborhood.
Street lighting, yes.
More, revamped recycling programs.
Okay, yep.
Buildings and lighting.
More under buildings and lighting, yep.
From the Ely Climate Group, we'd like to see you, City of Ely, use the RETAP program.
Okay,
To do energy audits on city buildings to see if they can save energy and save money.
yes, great. That's a great program. Erica and I work with those folks at the Pollution Control Agency. And it's open to all businesses and nonprofits. So anyone can take advantage of their building audits.
Ely Community Compost Site.
Ooh, okay, I see a lot of oohs over there
Yeah,
about
and
that.
someone to teach me about composting.
On Zoom, someone is saying increase public transportation.
Okay, yeah.
I'd love to see you use the program Solar for Schools, get some solar on the public school here.
Yeah, these are all really great examples. And honestly, there's, no shortage of ideas out there. And so a lot of it is just what is right for the community, which partnerships are going to come together to help make these projects work, who's available to do the work, right? And so some things have to fall into place, of course, to make that happen, but we are here to certainly help support as ideas bubble up. Okay, so now a little bit more about you. Maybe we'll do show of hands for this one. So sustainability really, it's not just the city government who's working on these efforts. It really is a collective community effort. When you start looking at a lot of the best practice actions in the program, it is about residents maybe taking advantage of utilizing a utility rebate to improve their energy efficiency in their own home. Or maybe it's a business that's participating by doing a recycling program of their own, products or manufacturing kind of additions and excess. And it's individual actions that all collectively support this city and the community's sustainability efforts. So how can the broader community, aka you all, support Ely's sustainability efforts? And I'll name these off, and maybe just raise your hand if you think that you're willing to participate, or if this is something that you want to see more of. So encourage green business development and jobs. Yeah, we like that. Expand education on sustainability topics. Okay, awesome. Take individual action to be more sustainable. Oh, good, I see lots of hands. We like those. Engage in city decision-making that supports sustainability efforts. That might mean going to a council meeting. Thank you. What about preserve and maintain green space, trees, and bodies of water? Yeah, lots of hands. I would think so. Invest in sustainable buildings and systems. Yeah. And there are many more things I could put on here. Did I miss any? Is anyone like, hey, what about? Okay. All right, so maybe a little bit more mic time. If you're willing to share, how can you personally, what can you do, what action can you do to personally help improve Ely's environment, social or economic resources?
I can enroll in the composting class that someone else is gonna teach. And forego the plastic bag when I go to the grocery store. We've got some cold member ones in a canvas tote bags for this.
Ooh.
I don't know how to, what my system is for giving them away, but if you want one, just let me know.
I'm so happy to see everybody raising their hands for all of these good things. Ely Climate Group has been trying to do some of these good things and educate people about this. If you're interested, join us, come to our meetings, help us get some of this stuff rolling in a bigger way, and support the green team while you're doing all of this. If you want to add your name to our email list, contact me and I will add you in, and I'll be very happy to welcome everybody. When and what day and what time, I'm reminded. We usually meet the second Tuesday of each month, and we have been searching around for a suitable place to deal with it. But we also meet by Zoom, so you don't have to be there in person. And we put our recordings of our meetings on YouTube. So if you look on YouTube for Ely Climate Group, you'll find our channel and all of our prior meetings.
And you'll hang around a little while after this in case people want to find you after the meeting. Wonderful. Oh, yeah, Lori.
I think it's difficult sometimes to know where to get started. So I would say the action you can take is to educate yourself, which is what we're all doing here, but to take it a step further and just know what little things you can do to be more conscious and just about your use of things.
Yeah.
So I think educating yourself and taking the time to really do some simple things and incorporate them into your daily life.
Yeah, that is so true. Talk to your kids, grandkids. They might have some ideas. Yeah.
Eating food that is harvested in the region.
Yeah.
And this is hard for me, but buying less new clothing and attending clothing swaps and shopping at Rick's Relics, which is my new favorite thing to do.
Yes. I just committed to bringing Tupperware containers with me if I'm going out to a restaurant or someplace I know I'm getting food, just to reduce that, extra packaging. We'll see how it goes, but it's a new one.
And it's not too late to put in a heat pump and get 2,000
Yep.
bucks back from the government and 500 back from Lake Country Power if you're within their range. Those rebates expire at the end of December. And here it is, it's October, you can get it done. They can install within about 2 weeks. And that will really save you a lot of energy. And you can be sure prices of electric power is going to be going up. Start today.
All right, one more in the back.
Everybody's experiences become resources for all the rest of us.
Yeah.
So when we have our meetings and things, it's not just learning by going to be presented to, but also presenting your own experience and that is something then that you can share or help support others.
Thank you. That's such a great example to end on. I'm sure we could stay around all day, chatting about ideas, but you being here today with this group of people and creating community amongst yourselves is a really great place to start a lot of these conversations. Share the things that you're doing, or maybe you're thinking about doing, and create your own resource team to learn from and share. And that's probably a really good. I've got a couple more slides, and then we're going to learn more about resource teams that can help you do a lot of these things too. So just briefly to talk about the next steps for Ely, steps 4 and 5 in the GreenStep program. is looking more at like setting targets. So where do we want to go as a community, and start thinking about those, what actions are we going to need to get us there? As well as in showing improvement, or highlighting that you are meeting certain targets over time. And so we are actually under construction right now. This is new for us. Steps 4 and 5 have been around, but we're mixing it up a little bit. And we think it's a good thing. So a lot more options and flexibility in how communities participate at these steps, and really setting targets and showing improvements that work for you, Ely, or Chanhassen, or wherever. One of the things I get excited about is really being able to visualize those changes over time and start having the data and the information to kind of understand how you're trending. Are you improving? Are you not improving? Maybe there's some actions that we want to prioritize. How are you doing compared to other cities? Not always, easy to compare ourselves. So a lot of caveats there, but it is interesting to see kind of, how are other cities reporting their information as well, and how are we doing? Lots of resources, like I've mentioned, workshops for folks, really anyone, they're open to anyone, on various topics. We take some deeper dives into things. We can help support with capacity building, maybe connecting to AmeriCorps programs or green teams, but you all got one already, or intern programs and that kind of thing. CERTs, where we will hear from Nik in a bit, and we love doing research. So finding funding or additional assistance that might be out there and available, bringing communities together again to learn and share with each other, supporting with data, as well as model ordinances, and getting into fun city code stuff. I did want to mention, since I know that there's an active climate group in Ely, we do have our newish now, Gold Leaf Challenge, which is very similar to how the GreenStep Cities program is set up, but it is focused on climate action. So what are those local actions that really address reducing greenhouse gas emissions, planning and preparing for a changing climate, educating and connecting with community. And while this is open to city governments to participate in, it is also open to whatever community means to you. So we have maybe neighborhood groups in our bigger urban areas, churches, maybe it's a nonprofit, a school, just a local group. There are a lot of things that we know are effective. We consider maybe high priority and high impact actions. And so we've identified 44 specific actions, just to kind of create, again, that menu to choose from and resources to help you do that. And of course, recognition, because that's what we love. And maybe some cake, because I know cake is so yeah, congratulations, Ely, on everything that's been done. And I know, again, it takes a community to really support a community in sustainability. So I'm sure all of you have had a piece in some of that work as well. And I do want to pass it over to Nik to talk a little bit more about clean energy resource teams, who is one of our core partners in this work. And Nik is your local resource as well. So I'll let you switch it over. Oh my God.
Just give Jess a minute to switch things over here.
Oh, I should have provided water. All these things with water, I can't. It's okay.
There we go. Hello, everybody. I've met some of you before. I'm Nik Allen, Clean Energy Resource Teams. and I represent the Northeast region. So I have what I call all 11 counties of the Arrowhead. No pressure. I do have the largest region. I do a little work statewide, but I live in Zim. If you know about the Sac-Zim Bog, that's where I live. I grew up there. I moved away for a while. I came home. So I'm a local, and I just kind of want to tell you a little bit about CERTS. Aside from our work with Green Steps, which I'm happy to assist you with, we have lots of other things that we do. This is usually a 45-minute webinar, but I'm going to just give you like the very top skim of it. So if you're interested at the end, there are ways to connect. And of course, you can just come up to me and we can connect and you can take a deeper dive. But our mission is to connect individuals and communities to resources they need and identify what they want to do to build community-based clean energy projects. The main thing there, the takeaway, is community-based. I will never come into your community and say, you guys need to do this thing to fix your energy. It is always what the community wants that CERTS will work to try and help you achieve. We are state codified. We are 4 partner organizations. I happen to work for the University of Minnesota, but we also, and so do a whole bunch of my colleagues, there are about 25 of us total right now. But we also work with Minnesota Department of Commerce. We work with Southwest Regional Development Commission in the Southwest portion of the state, and Great Plains Institute houses several of our staff and a lot of the research wing of our work. Simple, how do we work? We offer unbiased, free technical assistance, not so much with your computer, but technical assistance around things like grant writing. So we are the state's TA provider for solar on public buildings, solar for schools, and we provide technical assistance on lots of other like federal grants, foundational grants, that sort of thing. We can also help you with things like energy audits and figuring out who you want to hire to move forward with something. We provide that kind of assistance. We provide very limited financial assistance. CERTS itself houses the seed grants program. If you and I have talked before, or you've attended one of my webinars, you probably spent the last month getting a whole bunch of emails from me about our seed grants, which just closed last week. But their seed grants is $5,000 to $10,000 usually to start something. It's a seed, right? So it's not going to fund an entire project, a solar install, et cetera, but it might help you do some exploratory research, hire a consultant, et cetera, to get something going. And we work across the entire state. So that's our whole staff. You see me with my real hair over there. We won't talk about how we've achieved this look here. But there's one of us in every region. If you happen to email CERTS and you get the wrong one, it's fine. We'll kind of point you in the right direction. So you could talk to any of us, and we all have a statewide focus. My statewide focus is residential energy assistance, energy efficiency. So I do that work all across the state, not just in the Northeast, but I also work specifically on anything else in the Northeast, if that makes sense. So you might see any of us if you were to join a webinar. Yeah. Who do we help? Everybody. That's the short answer. Cities and counties. So that looks a lot like our Green Steps work. Sometimes we work with like a rental organization, et cetera, to figure out an ordinance. We work closely with utilities, including Lake Country Power. I'm not sure who your other provider is here locally, but I know most of you are Lake Country, but I know like the outskirts, or maybe it's within town, it's different. Elites. So Minnesota Power, who at the moment we've been working with really well. We will see how things shake out as they've changed. But so there are programs. Sometimes we can find match funds and things like that. Farmers, residents, schools, underserved communities, businesses, you name it. We can talk to you about your energy needs. And then just briefly, I'll tell you about our latest program, Community Energy Ambassadors. This is somewhere earlier you were talking about ways that you as an individual can get more involved in sustainability. And this is a simple way to do that. You could use the QR code, but you could just talk to me or Google our website, cleanenergyresourceteams.org. But community energy ambassadors are like little helpers for me, essentially. I can't be everywhere. So, you know, that's 11 counties is big, especially since St. Louis County is the size of the state of Connecticut. So if we want to be really connected, we have to have people in all the communities. Ely really does this well, Barb, and the climate group are doing very cool things, but that doesn't mean there's not room for more of you to be involved. So you sign up as an energy ambassador, you go through some self-guided virtual training, and then at the end you do a project. And it's not a big project. Your project could be that you're going to host your neighbors and talk about tax rebates for energy upgrades. That's your project. I'm not expecting you to build something new to, get geothermal on the city, though, of course, we'd be super excited to help you do that. But, but they can be smaller, attainable things that you do at the end. And that is meant to be a launch project, not an ending project. If any of you have done the Master Naturalists program through the university, we use a similar model for learning. So you are going through these trainings and checking them off, but it is ongoing. So next year there will be new training. There will be updated things as language changes, as the technology changes, it will continue to update. And if you are certified, you will get, buttons and pins and other celebrations. So we like to make sure that you feel like you're really doing something. And we also have, we're just building a framework for, just fighting with a fly here, a framework for community. So you're actually engaging with each other, because we recognize that all of the communities and all of the members of community have more to share with each other than we, we're not just here to say, here's all the cool stuff. We want you to be able to talk to each other as well. So we're working on that. But this coming spring, we are going to do some cohorts. So if you are not super keen on just doing webinars all on your own, you can join a cohort, and I will be leading it. So it'll all be virtual probably, but we'll probably get together. Maybe there'll be cake at the end of it. It's all about cake today, but we'll get together and work on things together. So if you're interested in the cohort model, for sure, reach out to me. I'll need, I think we're doing 12-ish people. So, but that's not till the spring. So you got time to think about it. And the only other thing I wanted to share with you is I do host a free webinar on clean energy as we age. I think it's about 40 minutes with a lot of time. The rest of that hour can be filled with question and answers. But if you're utilizing clean energy, often it allows you to age in place, which I want to do. I do not want to have to leave my community, my house, just as I get older, and those things I'm sure lots of you don't want to either. So having access to clean energy, an efficient house, good windows, all of those simple things can allow you to age in place. So anyhow, that's a webinar that I lead. It's mostly practical stuff on how to make your house work better for you. But I also have some resources on funding if you decide you need an air source heat pump, or you want to buy triple thick windows, or whatever it is. So connect with me for that. I think I maybe have there's my contact information. I'll be sticking around for a little while. I think we're meeting some people around 2. But I'll be here in the meantime if you want to connect. And the climate group, if you miss me, the climate group has my contact information too. So thanks so much for having me today. Thanks for having me.
Do we have any questions for Nik, Kristin, or Aaron?
Who is the coordinator in Ely for the GreenStep program?
Scott with the last name I will not.
Right now it's Scott Kokendorfer. He's the planning and zoning administrator, and he also helps a lot with the green team and the park plan committee.
And are there city resources dedicated to money?
You got any money?
Not.
Feel like I'm antagonizing. Wonderful. Well, remind us tonight, we have a reception from 4 to 5 at City Hall, and then a half-hour break, and then 5:30 City Council starts. And one of the first things on the agenda is the awarding of the award. Wonderful. We'll see you all here next week. Thank you so much.